Hello everyone, Thempire Ian here with the last of Burst Protocol. I think we've got every card now, and we've got a bunch of TCG exclusives, as always. We've already seen what's going on with the GMX. I talked about them. I think they're cool. I don't know if I said this in the video. I think they're cool. I've been playing around with them. They're neat. They're not there yet, but they just need a second wave. Man, if we can get a good second wave on them, we'll see. They really need an extender, but we do have some cool stuff coming in from the TCG exclusives for the generic stuff. Let's see what's going on here. First up, we've got an article on FA related world premieres. So these are world premieres that are also kind of stealth support for FAs. First up, we got Mechanic, a level 3 wind machine tuner effect monster, 500/500. When an attack is declared involving your other machine monsters, you can increase or decrease the level of that other monster by 1. That does stuff for FAs, yep. I agree. I don't know much about FAs. You'll have to ask Yura about that. I think Yura is like brewing a deck with this already, looking to make a video about it for Genesis format. So check out Yura Vespera. But let's see, you can only use each of the following effects of Mechanic once per turn. If a card is in the field zone, another thing FAs do, special this card from your hand, you can target a face-up spell trap cards your opponent controls. You control, destroy it. You destroy the field spell. You want to destroy the field spells for the deck. And if you do, add a wind machine monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand. Can't special extra deck for the rest of the turn for machine monsters. FAs don't really care about that. Okay. That gets you like one of the best cards in the deck, I'm pretty sure. If I'm remembering my FAs correctly, one of the best cards in the deck is like a wind machine monster with 0 attack. This card does everything for the deck, huh? Wow. That's actually kind of crazy. Then we have Jade Dragon Mech, a new Vermilion Dragon Mech thing. And now it's Jade. It's Jade now. It's Jade for an amazing reason. Level 9 a wind machine synchro effect monster. It's a wind machine. Ooh. It could be FAs. But what if it was Speedroids? Generic material. If this card is special summon, you can send a machine tuner from your deck to the graveyard. What will we... Oh my god. Hold up. Summon this card. It's a 9. It's pretty easy to make in Speedroid because there's so many 3s in Speedroid. Use this to... we already have so many ways to access Den Daiko Duke, but this is another way to access Den Daiko Duke and get it into the graveyard to the reborn stuff. What else does it do? If you control monsters whose current level is different from its original level, you can special summon it instead. Oh, wow. I mean, we wouldn't do that... Wait, no, we do that in Speedroid sometimes. If we're making Jade Dragon Mech, though, I don't know that we're going to be able to do that. I don't know. That is very interesting, though. You only use this effect once per turn. If this Sacred Summon card is destroyed by card effect instead of the graveyard, banish any number of tuners from your graveyard, target that many cards in the field, destroy them. Okay, that part doesn't matter. That is interesting, though. A Foolish Burial for Den Daiko Duke. I don't know if there's any other Speedroid cards we want to have in the graveyard. Really, I don't think so. I think it's really just the Duke, but the Duke is a really good one. Again, though, you can get it off of the Taka Tomborg, though, so it's not a huge deal. It's really, these are FA supports. I'm just trying to jam this in the Speedroid, and I almost want to. Let's see what Mischief of the Wolves is doing. Look at that. I like that art. That's really fun. She's got so many grandmas. That's crazy. Where'd she get so many grandmas from? Mischief of the Wolves, quick play spell. Apply these effects in sequence. Reduce the levels of all monsters your opponent controls by 2. Oh, wow. Increase the levels of all monsters you control by 2. That's good for FA. The other part is interesting as like a floodgate. Well, not a floodgate. It's more like the effect. I've talked about this before. The effect of the Glider 2 in the graveyard in Speedroid, where you just do that one-time effect that reduces the levels and can screw up some plays. Interesting that we're doing this. Oh, it does both in sequence. Oh, that's really interesting for FA, huh? During the main phase of this card in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. Huh. Wow. Wow, this is really... Wow. I have not seen many people talking about this part of it. I saw a lot of people talking about the mechanic, and that makes sense, because this one's just a spell card, but like... And you can't search it, but like, damn, this seems really good. Increases your levels, reduces your opponent's levels, which can interrupt them, and then also it can pop your field spell and add back to hand. Like, that seems pretty damn strong. It's just probably 2 win more? I don't know. But Mechanic, Jade Dragon Mech, seem pretty good. Seem pretty freaking good. Lois. Sorry. All right. Here's some real generics. We don't, apparently, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Org has no clue what these guys are doing here. Okay, well, I know exactly what this guy is doing here. What? Free agent. This is not a free agent. This is for the Magnet Warrior stuff. Flux Oceanfield. Feld, sorry. Level 7 Earth Rock Fusion Effect Monster, 2600, 2000. Level 5 or higher Earth Monster. Gee, I wonder what that could be. And a Rock Monster. Gee, I wonder what that could be. It's for Magnet Warriors. This is a Magnet Warrior card. If this card is Fusion Summon, you can special summon a Rock Monster from your hand or graveyard, except for Flux. Quick effect, you can target an Earth Monster you control. When on a card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. I'll use this effect. Each effect once per turn, and cannot summon activate more than one in the same chain. This is actually, I think this is probably going to be pretty good in Magnet Warriors 2. This seems like a pretty good tech option. It's something you can summon off of the one that fuses in hand. If you have one of the big guys in your hand, Pants okay. And then it just lets you get that guy back on his fusion summon, or it can get something else back too. But it can get that guy back and then bounce it to your hand to bounce an opponent's card, thus getting you back your fusion effect too. Like, this card's really good. I don't know if you could get the other cards though. Oh, we have to talk about, maybe this, they put it in the article because it's just on its own like this, but there's also not to go too far ahead, but we also have the imports. For the imports, we are getting Conduction Warrior Lineum Magnus plus minus, so we will have that alongside the Magnet Warriors. Spenta is finally coming. Pasanta, the Titan of Troubadours, is a card that exists. And we're also getting Invoked Magistus Omega, so some of the invoked lore is coming over. But yeah, moving on though, we gotta talk about the Fujoshi. The Fujoshi Archfiend. It's part of the Archfiend archetype, and it is a Fujoshi. Shipping Archfiend. Incredible name. Can we talk? They made... okay. We'll talk about that after we get into this. Okay. First up, we have to talk about this. Level 3 Fiend Tuner. It's a Fiend Tuner. It could work in Speedroid. 0 attack, 0 defense. Target any number of face-up monsters on the field and declare one type or attribute to become that type or attribute. So you can target any number of face-up monsters on the field and make them the same. Do you get it? You make them the same so that you can ship them in a gay ship because it's a Fujoshi. Insane bit. What an insane bit for a card to have in Yu-Gi-Oh! The trading card game. Crazy, dude. It's awesome. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field with this card in your monster zone, you can target one monster on each field with the same type and attribute from each other, which you've made them that way with shipping Archfiend, and then return them to the hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. This is an interesting card. Like, actually, like for just a removal function. Interesting. I don't know like where this fits into Archfiend as a deck. That deck seemed pretty tight on its stuff, and I don't know if it has room for this or any ability to summon it out at quick effect speed, which would be what would make it most useful. As it stands, it's kind of more of like it's not even a breaker because it has to trigger on the special summon of a monster. This one's kind of a weird one as far as its actual place. It is, however, extremely funny. But I gotta talk about this. Weird that we're getting the Fujo card, the fucking Yaoi Enjoyer card, in the same set where they took Dark Lord Pleasure, as it was known in the Japanese, named it Dark Lord Dance instead, and then had someone, maybe the artist, maybe someone else, digitally move the two women 6 inches apart to make room for Jesus. Why is this the homophobic set that has a Fujoshi in it? Are they trying to say something about Fujoshis? Because I don't think that's necessarily true. Some Fujoshis are fine people. Some are not, but, don't hang around those kinds of people. Just, there's plenty of cool Fujoshis. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. What is it? Is it strange set of choices to be in the exact same set, right? We're moving the two women apart because we can't have anything gay in the set. But also we made the card that makes your opponent's cards gay. The card that declares your opponent's cards are gay in the same set as we're censoring women being too close to each other. What the fuck is going on at Konami of America? It makes me wonder if Konami of America even gets to choose what gets censored and how, or if that's a Konami of Japan decision. I don't know. But even if that's the case, they still have to go to Konami of Japan to get someone to make the art for these cards, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Very, very confusing to me, actually, all in all. I will say the cutesy little balloon here makes me kind of think, is shipping Archfiend in the same world as the Live Twins? I don't know. I don't think, maybe not, but like, I don't know. Anyways, Storm-Bane Dragon Destorbim. It's a level 11 Dark Dragon Synchro. There's not enough level 11 Synchro monsters. I'm glad we're getting more of these. Generic materials, 3,200, 2,080, 2,800. 2,080 would be crazy. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Storm-Bane Dragon Destorbim per turn. Okay, so it's a towers. I'm not happy about that. Banish any number of dark monsters from your graveyard that cannot be normal summon or set. Banish that many monsters cards your opponent controls. That's a decent number. This is a quick effect. Your opponent controls more cards than you do. If this card is set to the graveyard, especially on one of your banished dragon monsters. I like it does more if your opponent has more stuff than you do. I think that's a cool way to make these effects do more. It does kind of mean like it has a little bit. It's not just don't bear with me. This is not an official like an actual Kaiser Coliseum situation, but it is like a little bit of one where it's like if your opponent plays too much into your board, you could be like, aha, it's a quick effect now, banish, which is kind of interesting. But at least it's not as oppressive as Kaiser Coliseum, of course. So I like that part. I think that's not that oppressive. Not like unable to be targeted, so it just sits there and is powerful and imposing, and then it just has the banish. And if your opponent goes over the amount of cards you have, it becomes a quick effect, and you can just bam get them. Good board breaker. Good turn one setup. If it's sent to the graveyard, summon a banished dragon monster, which is you're banishing dark. It's partially for all the rocket stuff. Is this why Billy Brake was talking about searching Dark Arm Dragon, because they made a new Dark Arm Dragon? This is just like a better Dark Arm Dragon, but it's a level 11 synchro, right? Like, am I crazy? That's kind of what they're doing here. It's like a riff on Dark Arm Dragon a little bit. Kind of interesting, actually. Yeah. This is something to consider for sure, especially if you're like in a like a dark deck, right? Or a dark dragon deck. Like if you're playing full on rockets, I would maybe consider this. I don't know if I bet the extra deck is pretty tight in rocket though, in Dragon Link in general. So I don't know if you have room for this. But we already went over the imports. Let's go over to finally Tistina related world premieres. But wait, that's totally awesome. Anyways, here we go. First up, we've got Mercurium, the Living Quicksilver, the big promo guy. This guy's... Everyone knows this effect by now. This guy's annoying. Rank 10, Dark Aqua Ixies effect monster, 3,000, 3,000, 2+ level 10 monsters. So, obviously, Tistina can make this, but you know what else can make this? Yubel. If this card is Ixie summon, you can attach one monster from your deck to this card as material. So it's Foolish Burial. If you just link this off, bam, you've got a Foolish Burial on your hands. You can only use this effect of Mercurium the Living Quicksilver once per turn. While this card has material, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters in the graveyard with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard. Oh boy! So in addition to being Foolish Burial for any deck that wants it and can make 2 level 10 monsters, this is also Abyss Dweller. You might say worse Abyss Dweller, but I think that's a little too reductive. I think this is narrower but longer lasting Abyss Dweller. I mean, for one, it's a lot larger than Abyss Dweller. It's a little harder to get rid of because of that. But for two, it's just a lingering effect as long as this guy stays on the field. And you may be wondering, like, well, how do you get the attribute? First of all, this is going to be something that's going to come up more in games 2 and 3 than it is going to be in game 1, unless you're just lucky on what you're shotgunning here. So you're grabbing with the first effect. If you're not using this as a Foolish Burial, or maybe sometimes if you are using it as a Foolish Burial, you're grabbing the attribute of the monster that you think your opponent's going to be primarily playing. So if your opponent's on a deck like, well, Vanquish Soul still has some pretty, like, if you grab fire, that's going to hurt a lot. But it still wouldn't hurt like the earth stuff, right? But if you're on a deck like Vanquish Soul that has a bunch of stuff around it, like a bunch of attributes in it, I should say, this is not going to hurt you as much as it would otherwise. But like if you're on a deck that's really heavy in on one attribute, you're going to get hard fucked by this card. It's good. So you're using that Ixie summon effect to attach a monster that has the same attribute, and you might be wondering, well, what if you're not on that kind of attribute? Like you're playing Yubel, you're on a bunch of darks, right? So how are you going to get anything that's not a dark? Well, hand traps, duh. Like your hand traps are all sorts of attributes. Of course, you're going to use those to floodgate your opponent. You think they're on Mermail, you're getting the fucking Perulia. If you think they're on Speedroid, I don't really know of a good wind one. You grab Fualos. If you think they're on something fire related, you're grabbing Ash Blossom. Like they're on Ryziel, right? If they're on something light, you're getting Effect Veiler, that kind of thing. So. And then, of course, whatever you go through in the course of your combo is also in your graveyard, so you're also blocking that, too. So, like, if you're in the Yubel doing this, you're getting your darks in the graveyard, and then you're also getting, like, whatever you're grabbing from Quicksilver, and you're detaching it during the end phase, so you don't take 3,000 damage. But secretly, what you're doing is loading up the graveyard to floodgate your opponent. Annoying. Very annoying. I don't think this card is going to be, like, crazy strong just because it's really locked up in archetypes that makes 10s that aren't locked into stuff. So like Yubel can get locked into Fiends. Obviously they're not totally locked into Fiends, but like they can. Machines get, like the train deck gets locked into Machines pretty easily. So I'm not sure how many of them will actually be making Mercurium. And like, I don't actually care if Tistina has this card, frankly. I don't think, unless these two cards that are coming up next make Tistina broken as shit, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. But it is going to be very annoying when you run into it. And I don't think annoying cards should exist either. So I don't know. Next up, we have Vodnika, the Fountain Spirit. That's a cool looking card. I love this card already. I don't care what it says. This card's awesome. This is what we play Yu-Gi-Oh for, folks. This is what we play Yu-Gi-Oh for. All right, Vodnika the Fountain Spirit, a level 10 light aqua, level 10 aquas. All right, 2,000 attack, 2,100 defense. If a level 10 monster is sent to the graveyard, except for Vodnika, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster is sent, or hand if not in defense position. Banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, it feels like a bit of a rough summoning condition. Like, Tistina can do that. It's just like, I don't know. What if you get a level 10 guy on field and then you get negated and it stops your combo, right? And then you, like, nothing gets to the graveyard and this guy just rots in your hand. Or what if you just draw this card? You draw this card and a bunch of hand traps. This is not a starter. It isn't able to start on its own. It's just it's pure extension, which, you know, a couple years ago would have been fine. When Tistina released, this would have been a perfect card for Tistina. But in the modern day, I don't know if you can justify it. I don't know. That's a little tougher to justify. You could target a level 10 monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field, and then draw one card. Weird. That's a weird effect. Why does it do that? So you could do your Tistina, flip them down, right? So you have something on the field you can flip down for your Tistina effects. Maybe? I don't know Tistina that well. Sure. Rain of Frogs. Oh boy. It's been a while since we had any frog anything. Totally awesome bouncing back and forth on the ban list. I think it's kind of scared them off of that. But at this point, who gives a shit? And, you know, you can make it support Tistina as well. If you control an Aqua monster with 2,000 or more attack, that would include Totally Awesome, but it also includes a lot of Tistinas, I think. Do they get that high? They get to 2,000, don't they? Let's find out. Tistina. 2,000. Where's the other? 2,000. 2,000. Okay, yeah, they all get the 2,000. Send all monsters on the field to the graveyard except for Aqua monsters. Okay. For a non-archetypal trap card, I don't know if I can justify that. So got a little bit of a restriction. And it sends, at least. It does send. It's just, you know, you gotta play 3 of it to see it with any consistency. That's the only problem. If this set card is destroyed by card effect, you can set this card. Oh, it's not bad. You can only use each effect once per turn. This is a really funny card. I was about to say it would be fun in Cube, but I don't know if it would. It might be really annoying in Cube. It might be way too powerful to be in Cube, but then like not powerful enough for Modern. Where does it find a home? Could be Genesis. Could be Genesis. I can have fun with this in Genesis, I feel like. I feel like people need to experiment in Genesis more with trap cards. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on. There's some really powerful trap cards that are perfectly legal in Genesis format. Don't cost any points. So you can spend on some of the more powerful hand traps and then fill in some of the space with trap cards. But you know, people need to experiment with it more. I don't have the data on that to see if it's any good. I don't know. Maybe some people have tested with it already and decided it wasn't worth it. I think there is a little bit of a degree where part of the reason Genesis format still feels like Modern format is because people still play like Modern format. I don't think it's like fully because of that, right? I think there's a large degree to it just as Konami's fault, Konami of America, I should say, where they haven't hit Modern cards enough. But there is like a little bit of a degree where it's like, yeah, but are you trying to like play like it's not Modern Yu-Gi-Oh? And I don't think anyone really is. Everyone's just assuming it's Modern Yu-Gi-Oh and then playing like it's Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, right? But like, could you see results if you started playing like a trap heavy deck? I don't know. I literally don't know because there's not that kind of data, at least on my end. I don't know. Maybe other people have tested this more. I would love to see that the results of that kind of testing. But I feel like this is a card that could do some stuff with like frogs or Tistina. Very interesting. I mean, hell, this could, you know, this actually is a normal trap card. I could see playing this even in Labyrinth, where you don't really necessarily care about maintaining, like in states where you don't really care about maintaining your monsters. Like you bounce your monsters back to hand with your Labyrinth effects, and then you activate this card and just send all your opponent's monsters. Just getting that send could be really nice. Just a really clean out to a lot of stuff. I don't know. I would love to see more people experimenting in Genesis format. It's unfortunate that people just aren't really vibing with it. I think it's really interesting. It's just it needs some more pruning. Needs some more pruning from the team, and it needs. I think it needs people like thinking hard about it too. But enough about my thoughts on Genesis format. What do I think about these cards? Well, these are really cool for FA. I feel like all of these are like, all these get my brain gears turning, which You know, sometimes for TCG exclusives, they don't get your brain turning at all. These ones really do. And these ones kind of do too. The Mercurium does not get my brain turning. It gets my brain shutting off. But, Vodnika. I don't know what to do with you, Vodnika. Maybe in Genesis format. Rain of Frogs gets my brain turning though. And these generics, except for Shipping Archfiend, gets my brain turning in a completely different way. But Flux seems like a pretty good card for Magnet Warrior. Storm-Bane Dragon seems interesting. I just don't know what the home for it really is. But yeah, I'm really impressed. There was not a single one of these where I'm like, this is a stinker card. This is one you're gonna see in the trash can at your locals. I don't think so. Not this time around. Is Burst Protocol like the first set in a while where like every card feels decent to pull for one reason or another? It might be. I like a lot of these cards. I don't know. Well, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites. Just check out my website in the description below for more info. My videos are funded by my patrons, Ko-fi subscribers, and YouTube members, whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too could find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity, among other benefits. In particular, I'd like to thank Jeremy Coatney, Frog Prince Michael, Fleakill, Haru Hayes, the Almighty Ferret Lord, Fire Mizumi, Beastman, Bryn, and Beelzis. A big thanks to all my patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye!